The following program has been generously funded by the Patterson Foundation. This book is cool.
Welcome to This Book is Cool. My name is Beth Duda and I'm the director of the Suncoast Campaign for grade level reading. Today we have a Keena Ford book. There's a whole series of books that feature the character Keena Ford, but today this book is Keena Ford and the Field Trip Mix-Up. This book made me laugh. Keena's a wonderful character. We have a special guest with us today to talk to us about why she thinks this book is cool. With us today, we have Shalia Moore-Hayes. Hi, Shalia.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for being with us to talk to us about Keena Ford. Can you tell me one of the reasons why you think this book is cool?
Absolutely. I have my copy, Keena Ford. I have a lot in common with Keena. She is awesome. She's a go-getter, and I really like the way that she's very caring and really wants to do her very best.
I also like that sometimes, even though she's trying to do her very best, some things get in the way, and usually it results in something pretty funny that you have to almost laugh out loud at.
Yes.
I also enjoyed the descriptions of her family. Her dad, especially, he helps her out quite a bit. But one of the things that kind of tickled me is that he would only allow the radio station to be on one station in the car.
I remember growing up, my dad used to listen to a lot of talk radio. And it's funny because my husband does a lot of that today, too.
The children named his radio station, I Know That's Right Radio, because every time Dad heard something on talk radio that he agreed with, he would say, I know that's right.
Yes.
And so that's what they named the radio station. It was pretty clever. Now,
Yes.
Keena wants to be on the student council. And you mentioned that she's a real go-getter. Why do you think a child or someone like Keena would enjoy being on the student council?
Well, I shared that I have a lot in common with Keena. I actually started off on the student council when I was in elementary school, and it continued in middle, high school, and also when I was in college. And I think being on the student council is a wonderful way to get involved, and it's a wonderful way to improve your school as well. So with Keena being such a go-getter, I think it's a perfect position for her.
Well, that's interesting that you spent so many years on your student council. Were there any projects that you did as a student council member that you still remember?
Oh, yes. I helped create a diversity fair for our school where everyone came and they were able to share about their culture. And there was lots of food, there was lots of dancing and music, and it was a celebration of different cultures. And I did that as part of being on the student council. And it's something that they continue doing in my high school to this day.
That must feel so good to know that you influenced something that started a whole new tradition at your school.
Yes, absolutely.
Being a leader like that, I think, is something that is very attractive to Keena.
Yes.
But sometimes I think Keena goes into action before she's actually thought things all the way through. I was tickled that she has her homework cut and that the rules in school don't have to be followed in the homework cut. So in school, she can only use a pencil, but in the homework cut, you can write with whatever writing implement you want. But then there was the incident with the scissors.
Yes.
they had rules at school about safety with scissors and not to just be snipping with scissors in the air. And Keena got the idea that it was okay to just snip in the air with scissors, and it did not turn out so well for her.
Yikes.
Indeed. You know, her mom had made her hair into just these beautiful braids because she was going on a special field trip. And unfortunately, the scissor snipping affected that beautiful hairdo a little bit. Did your mom ever make your hair really special for special occasions?
Oh, yes, all the time. And I can share a story where my mom made my hair really pretty for me, and I wasn't supposed to get it wet by going swimming with my friends. And I went swimming with my friends, and needless to say, my hairdo was not so good after that.
Well, I think it's things like that that make us smarter, right? Because it's a kind of mistake you only make once.
Yes.
Yes. Keena and her class were going to visit the U.S. Capitol. That is an incredible field trip. Have you ever visited Washington, D.C.?
I have not had the chance to visit Washington, D.C., but when I was a little girl, I visited my state's capital. So I got the experience of visiting the capital, and I look forward to visiting Washington, D.C. one day in the future.
That must have been exciting to go with your class to see the state capitol.
Yes, it was. It was very insightful, and we learned a lot.
I know that you enjoy reading, Shalia. It's something that you and I have talked about before. Can you share with us why it's so important for children to keep reading throughout the summer?
Reading doesn't just allow us to learn, but it allows us to use our imagination and to learn different things about different cultures, to fantasize about different things in the world. Reading really just takes us different places. And I encourage everyone to go as many places as they can through a book.
You've learned all kinds of things through your schooling, and you went to college, and now you've gone back to college, and you're going to be getting a degree that's called a doctorate degree.
Absolutely.
Do you enjoy being in school?
I love being in school. And like I shared with Keena, I love learning. I love being a helper. And school always allowed me to be able to do both, learn from my teachers and be able to help my classmates and make our school a better place. And I've just kept that throughout my whole life.
Getting a degree that's called a doctorate degree, what will that allow you to do?
That's going to allow me to be able to work with many more children than I have before. I'm going to not only work with children with education and academics, I get to work with children with their emotional and social needs and be able to help them be the very best they can in any environment that they are in.
Well, I think that the children that you're going to be lucky enough to work with are going to be awfully lucky to have you as their school psychologist.
Thank you.
Well, I appreciate you being with us today, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye for now.
Bye. Thanks, and keep reading, everyone.
I enjoyed talking to Shalia Moore-Hayes, soon to be Dr. Shalia Moore-Hayes. I also enjoyed that she loved the character of Keena Ford as much as I did. I appreciated that Keena is a go-getter. And I also loved that Keena's not perfect. She had a lot of things that happened to her that made me giggle a little bit. I think you'll enjoy this book. I think you'll also enjoy learning some new words that the author put in the book that we can use in our word bank. The first word for our word bank is the word thesaurus. Thesaurus is a book that lists words in groups of synonyms. Synonyms are two words that mean the same thing. The next word for our word bank is the word delegate. Delegate. A delegate is a person who's authorized to represent others, especially when they're an elected official. Our next word is the word alternate. Alternate. An alternate is a person who acts as a deputy or a substitute. Our next word is the word election. Election. It's a formal and organized choice by voting for a person for a political office or other position. And our final word for our word bank is the word ballot. Ballot. Ballot is a process of voting in writing and usually in secret. The book, Keena Ford, is written in first person. Do you know what that means? That means that she writes the book as if she were writing her very own journal. So she gives us a day-to-day description of what's happening in her own life. For our activity, we'd like you to keep a journal. We have an example here. We've made the cover of our journal out of construction paper, and inside we've put different color pages. So on this page of the journal, it says, if I were class president, I would give everyone free pencils. That would be a good idea. And we have another page. This page is about a monument. My monument would look like, and then it says, this is a statue of me changing the world. It's fun to think about changing the world, and fun to keep a journal. Other people call that keeping a diary, and if you're a ship's captain, you call it keeping a log. So diary, journal, and log are synonyms, and those are words that you would find in a thesaurus. Now, if you do keep a journal, we'd like you to take a picture of your journal and send it to us. You can send it to connect@grade-level-reading-suncoast.net. I hope you enjoy reading the book, Keena Ford, and the Field Trip Mix-Up, and many other books. Remember, reading is the key to succeeding. We look forward to seeing you very soon. Bye-bye for now.